somebody that relates your time. You found somebody that can match your mind. If you have the spirit that can match your sky, then baby, it ain't hard for you to snatch my eyes. Hope I actually find a girl to hold my space. Yeah, but everybody around always got low vibrations. All they really wanna do is fuck, ain't nothing wrong with that. But the mind is more important. I ain't trying to hold you back. Need some time to go relax. Let's think about some shit. Till I go into my future, I ain't thinking about a bitch. Man, I'm thinking about a queen, or I'm thinking about a goddess, archangel, Uriel, and a scripture like a prophet. Yeah. Wherever we gon' be, you tied up in a bed, girl, better than you be, yeah. You should've never intervened, yeah. Swimming all day, got you wetter than the seas, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now I really know what to do. Just look at me, you can be good. Yeah, whatever makes a man. If you in my presence, but I make you change your plans. And I've been in the sky, so I really hate to land. The spirit always judge, but you ain't gotta take a stand. Yeah, ain't no person in no black suit. I've been in space and I can say it ain't no black kill. Yeah. Our mission is getting abused. We live in two different existences, and niggas and bitches are getting confused. They try to mix up and twist up the rules. It's just a vibe for itself. They got to learn about it, man. That means I just be vibing myself. Yeah, watch it arch and the yeah, looking just in time for some help. Yeah, girl, your body fine, and the spirit breath, you know what I'm trying to find. Oh, yeah. I've been trying to find you. Yeah. Now I really know what to do. Just look at me, you can be cool. Tonight, girl, can you fly close to me? No, stop it. Girl, can you come roll with me? Oh, tonight, girl, can you be open with me? Oh, big ass ocean sea. Oh, yeah. I've been trying to find yeah. I don't really know what to do. Yeah. Just hoping me you can be good.
Wet starch all on that. That's the chakra you gotta be in. You go jump into those type of vibes and stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Your shoulder blades start moving. I'm saying it's like a weird, get a weird feeling in your collarbone. Michael Jackson right after that. I'm gonna put it that. I'm saying that whole trying Michael Jackson for 3 minutes. That bitch. Oh, said I'll check this out before I get into some real synchronicities and because it seemed like it's okay. It wouldn't be okay. I know that the sound quality wasn't shit when it comes to the music though. I started to think YouTube doing that on purpose too. They're like, yeah, take your punk ass on StreamYard. So I started that YouTube do shit like that too, like take your punk ass on StreamYard so your music, I said the music don't come in and that's a different mic for it, bitch. I was starting to think a lot of shit, like it's a lot of shit that you probably like overlook. I don't be overlooking. I don't overlook shit. So I be seeing everything for what it's supposed to be and how it is. So I'm like, all right, oh, this is a human trying to make me blame it on they God. So they can sit back somewhere and be like, yeah, I'm that God you like trying to say, come save you. I'm saying. Hey, angels don't need saved, bitch. I'll tell you that right now. Angels do all the saving, and we done got tired. I'm saying we done got tired, bitch. Angels do all the damn saving. We don't need no smack monkey church, sweaty church socks and things of that nature. Playing around like they some floating disembodied mind. We don't need that. You know what I'm saying? We got Uriel here on Earth outside of y'all mind. Y'all can keep all them fart cloud Abraham thoughts to yourselves in that bathroom next to somebody's bedroom that live in the Vatican somewhere. No, I'm saying you can leave that shit there. I don't want to see no holy ceremony prayers this year. So I don't feel like looking at the Pope this year. Keep that shit behind closed doors. You like doing everything else, right? Or I'm going to start asking the real questions. Why ain't I at the round table discussing gas prices? You know what I'm saying? Real shit. I'm start asking the real. Hey, if you don't want me to start asking the real questions, sparking the mind of Americanas, you know what I'm saying? Hey, shit, everything come with a gift and a curse. You know what I'm saying? The gift is y'all can manipulate behind closed doors, Illuminati. The curse is shit. You take the Pope with y'all. We don't see no holy prayer this year. Shit, we got other problems. A lot of people wake up, their elbows hurt, shoulders hurt, stomach hurt, and shit like that. Why? Because we got bills. That's why. We don't give a fuck about no holy global prayer that day. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Say that right now before y'all even start. Before y'all even start practicing, talk about the day about to come up, y'all. Is y'all ready? Oh, a little Catholic church wedding suit, pepper on the side. Oh, say over that. Oh, cauliflower sandwich. Oh shit! I'll say, nobody want. Y'all better chill. Tell y'all ready. Yeah, let's make sure we knit the stitch into the signs and symbols over the small dick part over the goddamn. That's what they really want to say. They call it an apron, but it's really the chicks who be doing all the knitting and stuff and the golden or the what they call that, the royal archmason and stuff. They do all the knitting for the little symbols and stuff like that. In their mind, they be like, yeah, we got to put the symbol. Make sure we put it perfect there over Uncle Fester's small dick. Oh yeah, the apron. That's a sign of sigil. I need to go over the apron. Yeah, make it look just like George Washington now. That's what they say out loud. You don't know what'll be going on in their mind, or it'll be no such thing as all these men dying before these queens, dying before these princesses. See, it's shit y'all don't know. Y'all say, what you think Jada Pinkett up here be talking? Jada Pinkett's got alert behavior. I said some of these bitches in show business got alert behavior. Y'all better know. I say you better peep game. Who created tarot cards and shit? They playing the biggest role, mechanism, puppet role in the world. Shit, and a lot of them, their husband died way early and shit like that. He ain't even was the one in the war. You start thinking. I said start thinking. Queen Elizabeth ain't up there single for no motherfucking reason. You know what I'm saying? Get online right now. Type in spirits, motherfucking spaghetti and shit, and blood spit and putting blood in and spells and shit. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Them bitches ain't doing shit. They ain't doing half of the shit. Queen Elizabeth and them doing 100 times X volume plus rat poison in their husband food type shit. I'm saying real shit. They fight feminism on a higher level. Y'all ain't quite reached that game yet. No, see, I ain't reached that game yet. See, that's alert behavior. Y'all get everything watered down. Anytime y'all get something, it's something that got the okay. It's something that got the thumbs up. It's something that got the green light. Behind closed doors where we ain't never around the table to discuss gas prices and they can get all the bread, loaves, and money. So always remember that. Always remember, we didn't get computer, online, internet that couldn't dial up until after goddamn 15 years. These cats was having fun surfing real good and fast, real good fast upload and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Good fast auxiliary core, aux cores. I've never removed the aux. A 9 plus 5 plus 8. J Brown. Oh, zero shit, and not my God. Oh, 5 It always remind me of James Brown. I grew up around a whole bunch of old folks and stuff. I was never at the cribs. I was over somebody, always over my auntie's grandmother houses. You know, like 5 plus 5. You know what I'm saying? Hey, James Brown, I'm proud. What do he say? No, he say, hey, say it loud. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. I know that I would now. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. I feel good. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. I know that I would. Yeah, that's the one. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. I don't know about all them other trauma songs and stuff like that. I don't know about all that. Except for that, hey, I feel good. I remember hearing that one. So I remember hearing that one from James Brown and shit like that. And then, like, every time I hear Kendrick Lamar, it gets stuck in my head and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I always knew he was leading to it, cause he had that one song. What's that one song? I could dig rapping. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, this cat had James Brown ghostwrite for him. That's like literally James Brown's song. No, I was like, this cat had good James Brown ghostwrite for this cat and shit like that. I wonder why nobody put that in the lyric. I could dig rapping. Oh shit. So once I heard the 5 plus 5 plus 5, oh shit, he just added a little Crip Mac flavor to it. A little Crip Mac, you know, free Crip Mac. Is that real shit? Yeah, hip hop finished. So other than that, yeah, we getting into these. All right, we 12 minutes in. Yeah, we about to get 12 minutes in. So yeah, I'm about to break down some real good energies. Helping everybody understand Memorial Day astrology. Now, Memorial Day astrology, they got y'all thinking it got something to do with some smack monkey ass grandkids growing up and they become your forefathers and they made you go get an A in history class to confuse you about them dropping nuts and getting rid of turkey. Keep the turkeys and eagles alive. Oh, said protect the turkey. That's why whatever I'm doing around Thanksgiving is my new holiday. Guess what? Guess what? It ain't got nothing to do with killing turkeys. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? It ain't got nothing to do with frying turkey and baking turkey. Yeah, guess what? Oh, I said real shit. Now, why that ain't better than theirs then? I said, how come that can't be better than theirs then? If mine don't involve sacrificing Cain and Abel, the ritual spells, a spirit smelt it and it was sweet to that spirit. Man, that's all demonic ass. That's demonic ass shit. Demonic. Even their language was called demonic. All y'all get demoted in their cons. So you get rocked to sleep with a con. God ain't never said you was gonna go outside and with your naked eye and see a constellation. No, I'm saying it ain't just some smack monkey ass group of men say, hey, let's get rich off the sky. Now you getting conned. You ain't gonna never see that. They try to put a satellite up there and take our taxes right now with Project Bluebeam and shit. Like, you getting conned. Constellations, just different names for each space and location. And since it's water cycles, we move in time. So we got different periods of time. You ain't gonna actually see no rocks put together in their concept of, in one breath it's a hydrogen ball or gas ball, and another breath is a big old rock. It's a big old, you know what I'm saying? Like the Megan Thee Stallion song. What's that song she called? Big old freak. So it's a big old freak in the sky. I don't go no further than that. So they gonna create all this phallic religion bullshit. Oh, sad phallic religion bullshit and shit like that. And now y'all all mind fucked. And now we got Sexy Red, and now we got Megan Thee Stallions and stuff, and Cardi B's and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And stuff that Nicki wish she could still do and shit. And that's about it. Like, it's like shit, that's about it. It's about witchcraft. All right, we 12 minutes in, so we gonna break down what it actually means and shit. Now, y'all know when you read in the Bible, every time somebody dying or something like that, Marissa, what are you doing? You fell. You just, oh, you all right? Oh, Jesus Christ, have mercy on my soul. They're going crazy. Yeah, some spirits going on floating around and shit. Like, some spirits floating around. Oh, so that's what I'm saying. Spirits floating around and shit like that. Oh, I gotta do some investigation. It's just floating spirits outside and stuff like that. The Memorial Day. See, this is why I don't celebrate holidays and stuff like that, because Memorial Day ain't about shit. I'm saying Memorial Day ain't about shit. Mother's Day ain't about shit. Father's Day ain't about shit. The 4th of July ain't about shit. You know what I'm saying? All this shit, we like worshiping other men. You know what I'm saying? Other circumstances of men. No, I'm saying real shit. Yeah, be careful. The floor ain't wet, is it? Well, I'm saying, but yeah, I'm saying the whole lot of like floating stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? Then we gotta be careful because they like these spirits be floating around inside of their first body, the mind, and that one is so thin and less in density. That's how we bring people here, and that's how we exert spirits and stuff like that. We'll exert like ideas that a spirit could get trapped in, because people will get confused with Jewish Kabbalah witchcraft with their starting point and think that the term spirit is referring to characteristics or the demiurges or the mentalities themselves. No, the mentalities always represent the deity, and the entity is us trying to give it a name. But we always come up with stuff like mysterious or unseen or unknown or doesn't have a form, non-corporeal. These are all explanations when we're trying to break down what we are, spirits, the space, not just one thing having that kind of concept and you floating around with one, nothing, a non-corporeal spirit. But you're so lost in Western Hemisphere witchcraft, you don't have your own mind to understand the space they in, to understand things. You just go with their concept. Oh, my spirit is the mind. And then all they got to do is call the mind different things: light, chakras, rainbows, desires, demiurges, and then y'all all get lost into different gods or different spirits that ain't even got nothing to do with you and what you just got lost in as a spirit. And then y'all just lost in their space, the space that they be in, to come up with those thoughts that they convinced you that you are that and you not that mentality. So that's how they trap you in mind states, trap you in forms, so you could keep incarnating into this same similar organ and shit like that, and keep playing out stupid ass shit that they try to have you play out as far as building their world. And they could just keep being dumber and dumber and shit like that as far as updating. So don't look at these languages as something separate. Look at language as a system that some cavemen started to create, and look at every language that come from it as an updated version, because that was the starting point as one world government. That's, you see what I'm saying? Don't look at it as, oh, there was always languages and then someone stolen it or something like that. If there was a language that was unorganized, it don't matter if it's a language or not. It could be just as good at without no motherfucking order around it. Ain't no money gonna be produced or no type of circumstances like that. So when we start to get order involved, this is coming from a shadow priest system, not no everybody had a concept of this. And people who be preaching that don't even be talking about the necessary tools it take to produce something like a cuneiform. To produce, they just throw things out there that they heard other people say and things that they probably heard me say. Like, oh, yeah, we understood astrology. And then they probably won't even say that. They'll probably say astronomy because they already indoctrinated. Then they say a whole bunch of other dumbass shit and don't know how to break it down in such a way we don't even have to use the terms astronomy, astrology, and where it derives from, to have anybody with common sense to be like, oh, we see the conclusion that they came to even call it astrology and astronomy. But you ain't even going past that. Anytime somebody try to make it go past that, it's them trying to pull for something that the government, that they're claiming, that they're telling you shouldn't like already. They're trying to pull from that for them to look better than you. But the only thing the government is doing is astronomy and astrology. Everything is built off that. It ain't no math, nothing that ain't built off astronomy and astrology. So don't let nobody try to make it seem like belittle that, because they lack knowledge and wasted time and years of their life. Every religion, everything is based off astronomy and astrology. That's, replace astronomy and astrology with as above, so below. You know what I'm saying? You could say astronomy is as above, celestial objects, keeping track of it, and as below, whatever anthropomorphized concept we make off of it, whatever mathematical prayer each week, day, month, year, holiday, the Masonic ritual. It's all, everything is built off the same shit. That's the same shit. I don't know how a religious person would even see it different. They just lack knowledge. Now, let's get into Memorial Day. Now, Memorial Day, they always practicing as above, so below concepts. So the as above is going to be the astrology of it, or the astronomy, the timing. So these times, these events happen. And we know it's not linear because it's happening every year, that we call it that term year, right? So when we see the sun in this position and this distance, right? Every time this year, this is what?
spring, and it's the last decon, the Shakta of spring, Sodom and Gomorrah. So for the most part, before they even did certain wars or justify certain ideas that they had to put death to certain laws and create another one, or win a war and give credence to the idea that gave them that. This takes us back to even in the eastern continents of Ceres and Orion, or Osiris worship. So it'd be Osiris, but once they put it over here and updated it in Latin and Greek, I mean Latin and English and shit, it's Orion and it's Ceres. So they always trying to justify what's behind the sun, because that's their starting point, which they be wrong. The atmosphere makes the sun, but this is where they come to their starting points of naming constellations, each position of the space in the sky each 30 days. And since we're not linear, it's a cycle. So if we can do that and we know it's a cycle and we're splitting the cycle up 30 days, 30 days, 30 days, 30 days, it makes you wonder, why isn't people like Neil deGrasse taking that in consideration every time they spew their rhetoric of a 13 sign? Because when you understand how we made the clock, that's still astronomy and astrology, military time and everything. The sun, Horus, the Ankh moves moves a house every 2 hours. So 24 hours split in half is 12 hours. So every 2 hours make 24 hours. Where is there ever going to be a such thing as the 13th hour? So if the time is based on tracking the sun, how is y'all making up a 13 constellation? What kind of time would you make off that? That don't even make sense. So when they start to talk about people who try to argue for them, it'll be stuff that NASA don't even be arguing, because NASA know the process they take when it comes to a leap year every 4 years and equating the months to match the time of the seasons, not the other way around, the government controlling the seasons. Each calendar based on geographical location. And when we get to the Western Hemisphere, the Gregorian calendar, right, to travel over there, it's based on how the seasons play out on that nature. That's why the calendar is ringed around. And that's why we shave some days off and shave some days on, because spring don't start at the specific day every 4 years, and sometimes every year that it did the year before when we're talking about cycles. So it don't start. It might start 2 days after or 2 days before than it did 4 years previously. And then when we get an accumulation of that cycle, here's where we get into aspects of trying to say, okay, something is expanding. And what we see is a example we could use for what we don't see, like an atmosphere or something that we're in called the universe expanding. See what I'm saying? Now, so when you see Neil deGrasse leave stuff out like that, you know it's on purpose. And when you're intelligent enough, you know not to allow them to get away with bullshit. So it's other purposes why they keep bringing in that 13 sign shit in the way that is not supposed to be broken down in their fake astronomy concept. It's actually an esoteric practice. Anytime you add a 13 or an 8, you're adding 8, where you're the observer because you learn all the intellectual properties from the 7 spheres below, or their astronomy of trying to teach you 7 planets. And then it's the same way with the 13 colonies, them owning the name, or the Jesuits owning the name of the Jesus Christ First Church. Or since me and you want to understand that big gas ball, they created the name the sun. So even when they ain't around, for me and you to understand it, we using the term sun. This is their way to play the separation of something we all connected to. So they call it 13. So they are creating the concept or the intellectual property around the 12, and whatever position they in, they're calling their themselves the 13. You see what I'm saying? So don't get lost in no Rudolph Steiner shit either. He's a Masonic puppet to throw you off. You will learn something like a magic square from him, and he'll teach it off on purpose. It's like a Masonic rhetoric intellect that they be utilizing as witchcraft on y'all when they release studies to y'all and thinking y'all gonna do too much with it on your own because y'all allow them to think what they do is important or is intelligent or something. They shit is trash. They knowledge is really trash. You know what I'm saying? You just got to get intellectually comprehended up to get there. So before we get into the war and everything, right? The sun, well, this is what it is in totality. Memorial Day. It's a moon worship. So it's a worship because they always doing worship based off the sun and moon cycles. So it's a worship based off the last full moon of spring. So every last full moon of spring, that's that holiday. That's that worship, Memorial Day. Same way how they got for the sun phase coming out of spring and coming in, and the first new moon around that time. So when you go to a Catholic church, right, the first Sunday after spring, you think you're drinking the blood of Jesus Christ and eating the flesh, but you're practicing the witchcraft of after the Passover and us going into spring, which is the Easter egg cracking. So the star on the east, Istar. Eastern star, Eastern time, if you're on Western Hemisphere. The sun towards the east, bringing spring. So it's like, once you understand their template, you know what's going on, or how we got rocked to sleep with our grandmother every month with these holidays. It's not based on nothing else but they fucking astronomy and astrology. You just got to know how to read the Bible. Like, so if you know how to read the Bible, when you get into Sodom and Gomorrah, before you get lost into what you believe based off your bias and understand the practice, it's a craft. It was made from a craft. Necromancy, gematria, numerology, astrology, and astronomy. When you understand the practices, right? And geomancy, you're trying to summon the spirit that used to be in that geographical location, whether it died or is still there, and they had to code this idea to build the community. So this is the practice, right? When you understand that, you start to see how they're bringing their children back down here that had similar ideas, and why they worship that geographical location and want to build a land up under the sun, up under that circumstance. And then the people who not from that land, the people who come up with rulership mind, they get jealous of the people that's born up under a land that they gave all this type of spiritual importance over. That's a mental illness. So this where you get in the Bible, tribe of Gad will be the Jews' allegory of being jealous of a native that was on a geographical location first before it's domesticated and capitalized. And tribe of Gad would be considered how the Jews seen an Indian, but as above, anytime the sun, it's in its home position on a geographical location. So the people who come out the water and become the land creatures, and the caveman and cavewoman, the Jews look at this like they holy to that land. So, you know what I'm saying? You can't say this pseudo, because it would be no such thing as you going to history class hearing about all these wars of the very same thing that these Jews is doing. What the fuck do you think they giving importance? Israel is what the original template, what they're calling giving importance to of that original land and claiming no one else should be trying to capitalize over that. Duh. But they trying to do it over everybody else's land. Do you get the issue now? You see what I'm saying? Now look. I think haters is hate because it's coming from me. You know what I'm saying? But that's another video. God damn. Now look. So in a nutshell, Memorial Day is the worship of the last full moon of spring. Because it's always new moon, full moon, new moon, full moon. You just might get thrown off because the months is trying to keep up with it. So in the Gregorian calendar, it might be a decon, a nakshatra, or asterism off. That's a different term for 10 days. So the calendar is 10 days off, but it's based off y'all government and stuff, because the new year is really springtime on every geographical location. So every geographical location have a native, have a tribe of Gad, have an Indian tribe, have a most golden tribe before they domesticate it first. You know what I'm saying? And before we called it Indian, it wasn't even Indians, because that's mutts. It was just the native. So think about Mexicans and Californians before the government came over there and stuff like that, and before they was mutts and called them Mexicans. Whatever natural natives was there, when the sun becomes spring over there, and then they go through their yearly cycle, that be that human race that come out the water that look like how the sun bring them up out of the water. You see what I'm saying? And all the species that come over there. Same way how you'll get in one geographical location, a koala bear, and in another one, a polar bear. But both bears. Same way with you humans. You see what I'm saying? All of us as teamwork makes the dream work, but based upon each geographical location we come up out of, the sun make us different. And it goes in a smaller percentage level also, northeast, southwest. So the northern always going to have a skull. And this is not racist, and it's not even these phenotypes. It's endless phenotypes after we already mutts. But I just got to say this because y'all already indoctrinated in their shit. So I'm about to make something sound simple. Let's say in America, it's the same way. South, Spanish, Hispanic, whatever y'all want to call it. East, Indian, Mid-East, Midwest, West, Mexican. Before you called it them names. Just think about it before they mutts and mixed up, and it's the sun making them up that way. Now, go back to what y'all indoctrinated to and go to Africa and India, right? Now, think about the Bible, what they're talking about, what been brought from Egypt. They're teaching you what they did and started to make mutts and break y'all over. So even on a micro scale, you could stay in the same geographical location, but northern, southern, eastern, and western still make slightly different phenotypes due to the fact of the way that the atmosphere make the sun transit. So the northern people that come out the water, right? North side, up top. Let's say this the Bible of Josephus, the part of Josephus, or Mesopotamians. They're going to have the phenotype before they figure out they need to stop fucking each other because it's making too much retardation. There's a little bit more like what y'all think is, and it's not even this. I'm just making this say this to make y'all understand it because y'all lost in these things. So let's say Caucasoid. Then let's say Cam, right? That's the west side over there in Africa. Everybody from their concept, everybody from a geographical location, not one race is the whole geographical location. That's why I don't even understand when Pan-Africans, every time somebody say Africans did something, Pan-Africans automatically in their mind think it's all them black people. No, it's just like saying if you played for like the global American team, basketball, soccer team, you could be, if you stay in America, you was born in America, right? It don't matter no matter what race you is, Mexican, Puerto Rican, Indian, black. When y'all go play against China, it's going to say Americans, right? So you're supposed to look at that the same way if you're a Pan-African. Everybody was in Africa. Africa ain't full of one race. It's Somalians, it's Berbers, white people, everybody, like, it's just a geographical location. Are you retarded? Humans is from everywhere. So it's like, I don't know where y'all got y'all narcissism from. It's like the deep slave concept narcissism y'all came from. It. Y'all got to get out of that. It don't even make sense in some of y'all arguments when y'all be coping. So north, south, east, west make slightly different phenotypes. So comprehension will be slightly different. So interaction with each other will be slightly different also amongst each other in the south or the north or the west. So when north start to mingle with the south and west and then have different children, it'd be totally different new species. And then when you have a group of men who come up with a way to control that, now we got the early churches and the early Masons and the early government and the early stuff like that and guilders and shit. But other than that, this is taking us to a concept of understanding that each area and position, the sun make different circumstances. The butterfly is going to be different up north than it is in the south in Africa. Same way the butterflies is different up north in New York than it is in the south in Atlanta and America. It's the same way how y'all use y'all tongue. You came out the water in the south, and if you came out in the water up north in New York, it don't matter, or came out the water on the west coast, it don't matter if a government came and gave y'all one language, a world language, like they did back in Egypt, and they did it updating. They're still doing the same thing now: Latin, English, Yiddish, and Hebrew. The Jews and the Greeks. You're still going to have the linguistics that represent the water you came out of. So a New Yorker that's a Pan-African is truly retarded just based off their native tongue. Because if we didn't have this language, and let's say we was just starting the language, you would still have that tongue. So let's say we just created the word north. If you stay up north, your native tongue made from the water and the sun, you automatically gonna say north. If you from the south, you might say south. You know what I'm saying? Because you was born more down up under the sun on the western hemisphere. So whether we created the word down or not, south or not, your native tongue still going to move in that way, whatever language some other motherfuckers want to make money again and start, you know what I'm saying? But it's you got to look at nature first. And if you don't got the native tongue of anybody in Africa, you not from there, bitch. You didn't come out that water. And saying you had a family member just because you're lost in indoctrination and they teaching you stupid shit based on shit they ain't even thinking about. They thinking about the starting point of when they just started to rule shit and keep control of that shit and tell you you can't have new kids unless you call it one of our names and shit, and you better not do too much. We're gonna call it wetlocking. Put your ass into, you know what I'm saying? You think it makes sense saying someone was born out of the water in Africa hundreds of years ago that was brought over here, and you was made hundreds of years later, and you think you got something to do with that or something like that. No, you're just a mixture of what's made up here at this point. You can't claim the linguistics of anyone who was born in India or Africa. That don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? That's like saying, let's say our family, right? Aunties and uncles built a hardware store in Atlanta, right? And then one of the nieces grew up and had your monkey ass in New York. You can't claim that building in Atlanta. You ain't built it. You can't say we built that. Your family built it. You can't say we built it and shit like that. But then at that point, it gets varied. Like, it varies. You lucky you stay in America because that's enough short distant time to say that was your family or something like that. So you have to move there to experience it. You can't say, hey, I live in New York. My family built something in Atlanta. So government in New York, I think you should like give me this beautiful house in New York. No, it don't work that way. You go out to take your ass to Atlanta to appreciate what your family built that you ain't had nothing to do with. So, you know, if you're a Pan-African, about time take your monkey ass back to Africa then. You know what I'm saying? You preaching in America ain't about shit. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Well, let me get into the astrology though. The astrology of this shit, don't check it out. So Memorial Day as above is just the worship of the last full moon of springtime, and as below, they create a whole bunch of destruction. Pardon me, right? Because the sun is going into Gemini, and when the sun going into Gemini around this time, it's Orion worship or Aldebaran. So anytime the sun is in this position, the spirit behind it is Archangel Michael. So the ruler of spring or hell to fight the demon and stop jacking off or something like that. So in Egypt, it was Osiris, and over here in the Western Hemisphere is Orion. And anytime there's a full moon energy, that's how they created their wedding ceremony. They're always taking practices as above, so below. The whole practice is acting out what the sun and moon do, even when the sun and moon ain't in those positions anymore, to hold up discipline for future references. So that's the main thing. You know what I'm saying? They figured out there's some truth to that because they're able to deal with people better than people who's not into these things. So, and there is a truth to that because I did that myself. When I go outside and I've been doing this for y'all for years live, showing y'all how to keep track of the planets yourself. And it does teach you how to deal with people in general when it ain't got nothing to even do with that. And you'll start to realize, oh, this is the natural law. This is universal law. So you will start to see in certain practices where they be trying to understand this, but there's a concept of spirit law, mental law, and physical law. They got different names for it though, based off whoever trying to make money off the practices. Spiritual law is the laws that's universal. So it's laws you're supposed to understand based off your non-corporeal energy. You're supposed to know how to use your mind. Mental law is what they try to capitalize as thought or their Moorish laws and shit like that, right? This is knowing how to conduct your mind with discipline. So knowing how to control your mind or move your mind, or knowing that you're not the mind, you the observer. That's spiritual law, universal law. You understand how everything goes on from an objective point of view. Subjective point of view, mental law. You understand how to control your mind, use your mind with discipline. The things that's uncontrollable, so you got to utilize it with discipline. So you understand that you're not the all and be all. You're just a limited piece of it, and that's how you fail. Then you have physical law, right? How well you treat nature, how well you treat your body, how well you treat the physical reality and things of that nature. And when these three laws is in sync and things of that nature, that's why I be telling y'all to have those three journals: a journal about your dreams and goals, a dream journal, and a journal about your plans. So you got a physical journal, a journal about your dreams, and a journal about your goals. So when you're writing down your physical things that's happening in your physical life, your dreams, and then your goals, you'll start to see these things synchronicity. You'll start to see things play out in your life as a synchronicity. Thank you so much for the donation, Richard Napier. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. You'll start to see something that you dreamed about be an actual experience in your life that that you could write down based on a goddamn goal that you wanted to manifest in reality and shit. And you'll be like, damn, this is some synchronicity type shit going on. Like real motherfucker shit. So you'll write down dreams, then a planner journal, and then a dream journal. You know what I'm saying? Goals, planner, dream. And then therefore you'll start seeing them all synchronized and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because the planner will be like what it takes to get a dream done. The dream journal will be writing down the dreams right after you wake up so you don't forget it. Then the goals will be about your imaginations, the daydreaming. You know what I'm saying? So you'll have that daydreaming, I want to do this. The planner, this is what it takes to get it. You know what I'm saying? So, I want to make music. That'll be the goal. The planner, it takes getting a job, or it takes working to get, or it takes doing this, or it takes getting around somebody with a studio. That'll be the planner. And then the dream, soon as I wake up so I don't forget my dream, let me write these things down. And once you do that, 3 months, 6 months, you will start to see some weird shit happening in your life. Like shit synchronizing and shit like that. All like to a day, all of them lead up to one day. You can go back to 3 pages in the journal where you had a dream 1 month, you had an experience 1 day, and you had a goal the other week, and all of that led up to one event, all of it coming true. And it's shit, and it'll blow your fucking mind. I did this lots of times. I could pull out y'all know my binder, that big old black witchcraft binder I got. You'd be like, man, life will trip your ass out. You'll wake up, you'll get so deep in thought, like for a week or two, you will get back into reality, and it'll be some weird shit. Like you forget to you forget how to lift your left elbow or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You forget how to walk for a split and a half second. You know what I'm saying? It'll be a split and a half seconds. You snap back to it, but you start to have that kind of awareness again, and like based off your true spirit again, and it'll scare you for a while. You're like, oh shit, I don't want to go down that train of thought, line of reasoning. I might get stuck in a world that ain't this world, that I'm still in this world, stuck in that world. And it's deep. Oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, what the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? But God taught me not to talk too much about stuff like that though, because really that ain't something. God gave y'all grace. Really, those really like aspects of angels being in hell for eons and shit. I don't want to tell. And this concept of hell ain't even hell. It's something else. When you be trying to make your own world and shit like that, and before you knew it was a good or bad thing. That's it. Let me stop this right now. We don't need to go down and get y'all humans no other type of thoughts that y'all can't handle yet. But other than that, like this only for atmospheres, angels. But other than that, yeah. So when we start to talk about the sun in this position, anytime there's a full moon, we already know we're rotating to the left as an atmosphere, interacting with another angel atmosphere, and then the one towards the east, what they call it Archangel Michael, that atmosphere, right? It produced that eastern sun, and then that be the deity, and then that's when we got the Quran now and all this other motherfucking shit. Now, if a religious person want to say, "Where's your sources?" Bitch, your source is made out of that witchcraft. Bitch, I am Archangel Uriel. You hearing it from one of the horse's mouth. Anything you read from after you just heard what I said, it's all gonna make sense, but it's all gonna go against what you always believed. And then that's when you're gonna realize, damn, welcome to the age of Aquarius, bitch. We're in a new time. Truth is revealed. God ain't tell you how it's gonna come. You know what I'm saying? You probably in shock that came as a goddamn Indian in the Western Hemisphere and shit like that, Uriel, center point and shit like that. That you never thought. You never thought you was gonna be ruled by Catholicism. No, I'm saying welcome to hell, bitch. Welcome to Tartarus, bitch. Shout out to all my Eastern Orthodox Christians out there. I'm putting y'all in hell too, but right now I just need y'all to get rid of all the goddamn creatures off the world for me real quick. No, I'm saying I just need all y'all to get rid of all these creatures real quick. You know what I'm saying? So do the good job. Get rid of these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people on UMG I'm not feeling right now. And just a lot of people on these goddamn Walt Disneys I'm not feeling right now. So a lot of these music artists and stuff I'm not feeling right now. Yesterday, there was people's favorite. Today, that's it. I said, how about that? It just seemed like magic, don't it? And it seemed like every day and every week, it ain't no other channel to go on for an explanation but Uriel's, right? And when you go on some of these live streams, you actually hear Uriel say that. It ain't gonna be nobody else channel to go on. You know what I'm saying? Hey, welcome to the age of Aquarius. You humans don't quite understand yet. Little by little, though, I'm gonna give you your power back. Little by little. Little by little. Little by little. I'm gonna make you look around and be like, wait a minute, this is not so bad, Uriel. What you did was right all along. I'm actually in a position I could be somebody now. You know what I'm saying? Trust me. Trust me, it's gonna be all right. This transfer, look, listen, y'all. This transformation, this shift, it's gonna be all right. It may look a little scary. It may look like it's even people against you. It may look like things is funny. All the way to numbers line now. Trust me, it's all for a reason. Everything is for a reason. And it's for the better. It's for the better. Trust me. It may look scary right now because you're seeing people that you gave too much power to go through some shit that now you starting to realize you would have never wanted to be a part of in the first place. And if you was, you would have had to say that, be careful what you ask for shit. But now, when all the dust settle, you're going to start to see how safe it is for you to be yourself again. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see how much opportunity it is for you to be the star. Once we get all these inverted reprobates up out of this way. WAE, bitch. Not somebody's other way that keep you asking the question why all the time. You on somebody's public transportation. You know what I'm saying? Or an esoteric plantation. Being a motherfucker spiritual slave. And Uriel don't play that, Jack. Hey, say, Jack. We don't play that. God children don't play that shit. We go up and smoke all the time. Thank you so much for the and I'm gonna finish this and I'm gonna start adding people. I see whoever click the link. Thank you so much for the donation. Glorify. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Real shit. You said so. You fuck with the Eastern Orthodox and mix astrology with it. No, I created it. They worship me. The Eastern Orthodox. The reason why they call it Eastern Orthodox because it's Eastern concepts of religion. Updated, here comes the term orthodox, updated and constructed and adjusted for the Western world. So it's a form of Christianity for the Western world. But the form of Christianity is based off what they brought from the Eastern world, that they created an orthodox updated version of it, right? So that would be Catholicism, Catholics. So the Catholic version that's updated for the Western world will be rabbinic Christianity, Eastern Orthodox rabbinic Christianity. It is the knowledge of like stuff they brought from when the world knowledge and the Septuagint and the Greek texts and things of that nature on the East, bringing it to the West so it could be updated and unorthodox version for the Western world. So we can have Christianity or a form of democracy over here. So that's what it's basically. So when we get into Protestantism, like a Protestant and denominations and things of that nature, they're basically just individuals that's against the Catholic Church, but still want to hold on to the practices. So this is how we get people like John Calvin, Martin Luther, you know what I'm saying? Certain Masons with their texts, the King James Bible and things of that nature. And then, you know, you get a lot of church scholars or theologians utilizing apologetics, and those be the ground bases of their arguments. Because based off government and church being involved, right? A Christian that don't necessarily agree with Catholics, right? They don't want to necessarily be in that type of democracy, or they don't want to be in that type of denomination, or however the case may be, right? Because they don't think the morality is good. They don't think it was good in the old time. They don't think it should be good over here. But since the Pope and everybody run that over here and things of that nature, right? It appears that they have more control over the whole concept, the theology itself. So here's where we get John Calvin and the people coming up with their own denominations of Catholic Christianity. So they don't want to use the Orthodox. They don't want to use the updated version that's controlled by Catholicism of Catholic, right? And just be their own version. They want to come up with their own shit against government. So here's how we get Grandma Christianity, John Calvin Christianity. I mean, Martin Luther Christianity, or even Calvinism and things of that nature. So that's that type of shit. But as far as the spirit that they worship, it's Archangel Uriel for them to even have the idea to come in the Western Hemisphere to summon me down here. See what I'm saying? So the look at the Bibles like this: the Christian Bible or the Catholicism. They worship the sun on the west, so that's evening time. They do a lot of practices that y'all might think is evil, but to them it's just doing things that represent dark time or fall and winter time, and trying to create disciplines around that and sacrificial energies and tribe of Seth, right? So that's the sun deity in a position on the Western Hemisphere. The hemisphere is the space, the atmosphere. That's me. I came here many times, right? So the book, the Catholic book, or the Catholicism or Eastern Orthodox Christianity worship Archangel Uriel. That's the God. So every Bible start off with a human talking about how we all bring ourselves here. And the one with the idea and who they took the idea from will be the God or the angel. It's only angels that's God. You know what I'm saying? No actual all possibilities. We're here to do that. And angels have to stop playing God. That's the thing. So we got fallen angels here. That's up under Gabriel and Michael and the soldiers. Then you got Raphael, and then you got Uriel. Then you got what I'm doing. But for the most part, before we get to that. So that represents the West. So Catholicism represents the West, right? Now, when we get into the Old Testament, that just represents the South, right? Or bringing things from death, bringing things, deriving it, and explaining how we fell. Fell is the West, but where it derives from after we fall, experience death. So that's Gabriel being the first spirit in the Garden of Eden, right? So that's the Old Testament. The Quran, that represents the sun in the east. So all the allegories is going to be about the sun on the east, and messiahs, different term for the sun. The spirit, the atmosphere, the hemisphere, the east. The deity, the sun that they give it an allegory on and call the name Michael or Aldebaran as a fixed star. The sun is in its fixed position to bring spring here and things of that. So when it ain't here, they create allegories of what they think made it do that. They create stuff behind it and call it constellations and stupid shit that don't exist, right? It's just water cycles. Now, the Jews, they had to do a copying. So they created the Hebrew and the Yiddish and stuff, and they represent the sun in its northern position, where it ain't no land being derived that you got to come from the east to travel through to come to the west, right? Because we got that north-south type of energy of water evaporating and condensing, and to make the land, it condenses on the west and derive on land on the east. So that's why that's equinox. That's why they call it equinox. It's where land get derived and we can get equal on travel. And the solstice does mean it's off a line, right? Because when the water becomes light as a cloud, it moves to the west to be condensed, right? And then for the most part, when it gets condensed and make all the roller coaster rides and condensing it underneath water rivers and stuff like that, it goes to the east to derive and become land and sea and desert. Where it dropped closer to the east with that event where we clash to the atmosphere and produce that sun and stuff. So the sun in its four main positions will be a name that they call the deity, and create a Bible around it that represent that whole season or 90 days or whole 90 demon degree, a fallen representation of that angle, right? And then for the most part, the spirit behind it is the angel, what rules that atmosphere. So the Jews roar, the Talmud is about the Sumerian text or summertime. So it's about the sun or in the position on a global scale of Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. So the Talmud is about Archangel Raphael, the spirit that's in that space to make the move, to make the sun deity move in that position at that time in high noon. So when we get into things like El Elyon or Pleiades or the face of the bull, Taurus constellation, Bow, it's just damn. Yeah. So when they say things like Pleiades, El Elyon, uh, El Elyon, that's the fixed star after they're creating witchcraft on y'all. El Sion, you know what I'm saying? We're around Electra and the five fixed stars and stuff like that in the face of the bull, Taurus constellation, right? El Sion, that's the updated version of it. Africa, El Elyon, over here, Alcyon, fixed star. And it's in the same position. And you'll know that if you're really an Egypt scholar and an astrology astronomer and things of that nature. Because even in the text, all of these are just allegories of the sun and the moon being in the highest position of the year. So the sun is exalted in late Aries, going into Taurus, Canaanite god, and the moon is exalted in Taurus. So for the most part, after that phase moving, and we witnessed that shift on the end, this let y'all know what they're talking about. When the sun and the moon ain't there, the space, they're saying, oh, what makes the sun and the moon be in its highest position or high noon at this time? And then for the or super high at this time before reaching noon position or fixed position. And then that's when they're calling Aldebaran and Alcyon, Orion. And here's the thing, anytime there's a full moon, this is where they're creating their marriage concept. So the full moon, the last full moon in springtime will be in Gemini, which is the worship of Memorial Day. And the sun being in Gemini, this represents the sun of the full moon being in Sagittarius. My bad. The full moon being in Sagittarius, and then the sun being in Gemini. This is actually the aspect of the moon in that position. We know this is where they created the node concept. And the north node, the high part of the moon, is the ruler of it, or the exaltation of the home, is Sagittarius, and the fallen of the north node is Gemini. But it's an allegory of this position in Memorial Day, right? So when you understand it from that concept, this would bring Ceres into play. The moon, the last full moon of springtime, is the position, even when the moon ain't there, that they're creating anthropomorphized concepts of what Ceres is. And then the relationship, the marriage is Orion, the sun being in Gemini, and the full moon being in Sagittarius. And and the high part of the North Node is Sagittarius, right? So the North Node being home, but it's all allegories that we make even when the position ain't there. We keep track of that water cycle to be like, oh, this your North Node sign or this sign. You see what I'm saying? Now, for the most part, now when you understand it from that aspect, now you're starting to see in Egypt what they're talking about replacing the names with Ceres, people coming from Ceres, the dog star, and fucking Osiris. But it's just really the sun in that position that we call it now, Orion or Aldebaran, and the moon being in its last full moon at the end of spring. And that's what they're calling Ceres. And anytime we're going into a new shift, and especially a full moon, it brings destruction. Full moon brings destruction. That's why people die. So it's their allegory. And so there are a lot of court times be brought on that time and stuff like that. So when they created their little war and shit, this is the perfect time to create the As Below memorial, like mourning, sad, and good morning is an allegory of them looking at the sun as death or evil. Or the demiurge from the Jewish concept. The Masons look at the light as good and things of that nature. So the Jews look at the Masons as whatever they think is good is narcissistic. And the Masons look at the Jews like whatever y'all thinking is really because y'all coming from a damaged starting point already. So y'all don't want to be here. So y'all blaming the sun on giving y'all qualities and thought forms on why y'all lack and got small dicks. So it's like that kind of argument that they working together as a team that makes sure that y'all don't create a third system for that. Y'all can't do something after they already let the Jews do it. So when you think about the fixed star, right? The fixed star, Alcyon. Hold on, let me see. The fixed star Alcyon. Alcyon fixed star. Yeah, it's next to Electra. Here we go. It's Alcyon. Alcyon, fixed star. Why H keep popping up? I should have left it on another one then, because here we go right here. And look at the degree. The degree Alcyon fixed star fall on.
Fairly theta, medium. Alcyone is fixed at 0 degrees Gemini, though Job would have seen it within the final degrees of Taurus, as even the fixed stars shift by a minute or so every 72 years.
So this is what y'all worshiping on Memorial Day. The sun relationship going from the first decon, zero to now we pass the 71 years a whole bunch of times. So the 9 degrees Gemini, but we in 7 degrees Gemini right now. So it's always around the same times of the year. We just be trying to fix the calendar around it. And that's supposed to be the 10 days we not see just the sun being in that position. But they got y'all thinking it's an actual constellation. And when you try to talk for NASA, you might hear a funked out ass indoctrinated astrologer say, we could see Orion at this time. But they ain't never gonna have no telescope and show you that until a shadow government puts some satellites up there, and it still ain't gonna be the full totality of it or a planet. They just gotta be convincing themselves and make up stuff like, yeah, we can't see everything because all the other stuff NASA created indoctrination around a dumbass person to think that God ain't got nothing to do with it. Every astrologer online really retarded. But at the same time, this is true astronomy, true astrology, not that bullshit other people try to get into history about what the government already using it as witchcraft about. Of course, you can keep track of the dates and stuff. If the government using it like that, that's the divination of it. We're not even supposed to be talking about it like that, unless you're trying to teach somebody the practice of it itself, not just talking about it like, oh, this is in history. So now the people who actually throwing their rocks, they can hide their hands because a dumbass astrologer would talk about it as if it's the planet's fault. So if Mercury or Mars did something in the year 1782 and we get ready to experience that same alignment again, and in the astrologer mind, they talking to you like, oh, this is something that just gonna make humans do that. No. An oral tradition is a government picking certain times to do certain things, and it's their shit. Don't know animals experience any of that at that time. We just experience the natural of the astrology. It's going to be that season at that time, and the way our brain work is at that time, aka the way your brain it's made, like the actuality of it, and create a spiritual system around that, praising it. Oh, my brain wouldn't have been made this way if the sun wasn't in Aries. My shoulders wouldn't be made this way if the sun wasn't in Cancer. You see what I'm saying? It's like as simple as that. You got the shadow government who's taking that and getting rich off of it and saying, oh, this time of the year that all of us can make a brain, let's worship. It gave us this idea to create a rulership at this time. And every year, even after, we're going to create an oral tradition. So we just uphold this. So if you're their grandkids, you're doing it as a form of a worship and a form as you're still running the world in the Vatican and shit. You got astrologers teaching what the government is doing as if the planets is making them do it and the government can keep doing it. And we just blaming the planets like it got something to do with humanity. That's a stupid ass indoctrinated astrologer that ain't got no fucking common sense about the starting point of astrology. You see what I'm saying? Or astronomy. A lot of these individuals be crackheads and shit, and drunks and dumbasses and people that be coming from all kind of walks of life that they know everything in the world, but how it can help them with their actual life. They be more damaged than y'all. I've been up here longer than everybody. Hey, bitch, I ain't never damaged. Bitch, I don't never make mistakes. Bitch, I take care of everything. Bitch, I take care of my child. I take care of every bill. I take care of every circumstances, situation, mental form. I take care of all my minds. What's mine is mine. You get killed trying to fuck around. No, I'm saying real shit, man. Ain't nobody got time to be retarded in half of their life. So you go. I started younger than everybody. So you go way back in my live stream and shit like that. For I'm even legal to drink and things of that nature. Smarter than everybody in the world. Bitch, I wasn't born in this lifetime to make a mistake. I said, I don't be, when I start hearing certain people, what the hell y'all talking about? You about retarded in my real life. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter if they somebody's grandmother or grandfather, shit. You ain't telling me shit. I'm your grandfather. Man, I don't give a fuck about inflation. Real shit. All right, start adding people now, but yeah. That's the goddammit Memorial Day. We worshiping Aldebaran, Aldebaran, Orion, and then the full moon series. You know what I'm saying? The last full moon and springtime series. So the last full moon and the sun the sun being in that position to create that full moon, the reflection of our atmosphere, right, is we only see that at this time of the year. So even when we ain't at this time of the year, it lets you know what the government be encapsulating as witchcrafts and practices and things of that nature, right? So anytime you hear somebody else start talking about the Egyptian scholarship and shit like that and start talking about, oh, Ma'at, the real God and stuff, all you got to say is, bitch, Ma'at is a different word for Libra, and we just using Libra right now. Bitch, it ain't got no goddamn universal law. Universal laws, motherfucker, mean it's the ground center point. Libra is the ground zero point. Even day, even night. So when the sun is in its fall time on any geographical location, bitch, that's the knowledge that they're deriving Ma'at from. These cats over exaggerated because they coping and they trying to find a god or some shit like that. And that was the early stages of the goddamn religion and shit like that. That anthropomorphifies and shit. They just be retarded as hell. Bitch, make it simple. Then you will be able to do it for real. Ain't nothing wrong with praising sun positions and shit like that, but don't get out here and be a grifter about it. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't gonna know the actuality about it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta actually know something about something before you realize you're using it for a sense of coping or my grandmother was a goddamn prostitute and she was broke and I just want the government to feed me, give me liberation energy or whatever the case may be. But goddamn it, anybody can go into the library and learn what these motherfuckers be trying to grift. You know what I'm saying? You got to teach somebody how to do some shit themselves. Go learn and fish themselves, have comprehension themselves. So that's shit like we doing and shit. Not getting up here putting a collection of library books together and shit like that and claiming you don't eat pork, but you still fat as fuck. That's not, now who gives a fuck about your diet plan? You know what I'm saying? Real shit. At some point, I don't even want to hear nothing else you talking about, even if it do make sense. You know what I'm saying? At that point, because it's like somewhere down the line, it's still wrong. You ain't practicing and what you preach. You can't be up here in one breath. It's all grifter shit, all grifty, swifty grifty. I'm saying, oh, swifty grifty. That's it, grifty. Leave your whole pocket lengthy. I'm saying that you be walking limpy and stuff, because you know when we be broke, you know what I'm saying, we be walking funny and stuff, you know what I'm saying, our elbows be hurting, shoulder blades, and so you know what I'm saying, that's all these people be doing online and shit like that when they got faulty knowledge. You supposed to come online like me, you teach good knowledge and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, you ain't saying nothing about no like button or nothing, not telling people it's good to hit like buttons and stuff, but when you more invested in the knowledge, you're not even thinking about that shit. You just up here dropping gems and shit like that, and then can't nobody debunk it. You know what I'm saying? That's like a Hebrew Israelite trying to debunk. But they don't even know what they reading. Ask them to pray right now. They sound like an Arab, a Pan-African. And then ask a Hebrew Israelite, what is the Passover? I bet they don't say nothing about no astrology or something like that. But in another breath, they get ready to say, yeah, our ancestors, we was the Israelites, and our ancestors knew all the mathematics and astrologies and astronomies. How? Break down a template of how it could be created, the cuneiform, and I guarantee you will find out your grandmother had nothing to do with that. Your grandmother was too busy getting fucked. Thank you so much for the donation, Chrome. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Real shit. You said there was like 9,000 Jews fighting in Memorial Day. Some spies had key positions and confidential. Yeah, it's all mental illness. It's all a mental illness, right? So that's why I don't even watch no Jew trying to make something important that ain't important. You know what I said? They'd be sitting up here trying to make it even seem like we supposed to argue about does it make sense or not for them to fight a war. It's like dumb. It's dumb. It's almost like us sitting at a round table trying to figure out what was God and the devil talking about. Man, both of them come out of somebody's flunked out ass mind and shit like that. So it's like that. It's like stupid. Because for us to even get into that, we got to believe somebody was around them. And in our mind, we stupid if we don't question who the fuck was around them listening to them talk. So if there's another person that was around them, we have to know that, oh, well, that other person ain't even talking about no God and devil like that. For them to even be around whatever I think I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever I think I'm talking about, can't no person be around that. So obviously, if it's a person who written this down, they know more about what they talking about than I know what I'm talking about. And if a person could be around it, obviously, oh, they writing something down for another human to understand it. It must be something I could be around too and write a book about. You know what I'm saying? So at some point, once y'all just start believing, oh, no, they only could come to one group of people in the Bible or something, I don't even want to hear nothing that's coming out your mouth then. I'll say you didn't got the wrong point about whoever wrote what you talking about, what they were saying. You missed that point. You about dumb as hell. You know what I'm saying? So at some point, y'all, we got a peep game like that. We can't be letting no Jewish person online get away with their rhetoric. We can't be letting no Mason get online, get away with their rhetoric. None of it leads to anything. Anytime they come up here and talk about, hey, y'all, this all the esoteric knowledge and shit like that. They ask them, when was the last time your dick grew an inch? Did your dick grow any inch? Did it grow any longer or something like that? Days, I bet you they still be hitting in plain sight. Also, I bet you still got to be initiated to get in the Masonic Lodge, and that's when you know, yup, ain't none of that shit they talk about work. So you might as well save your breath right now. You know what I'm saying? I bet young Leonard, I don't even got their problem. Why I ain't one of them? You know what I'm saying? Which is why I ain't suffering my time to go ahead and try to learn about what Aleister Crowley did and shit like that. I'm pretty much, God told me to chalk it up. He had a small dick. Anybody who got time to sit there and think about other shit, to fuck around and forget the stove on and the house caught on fire and blame it on spirituality and God. God, like, yeah, see, it's just humans down there blaming shit on me. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I ain't got nothing to do with that smack monkey having a little dick. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, God teach you real good shit when you with God. You know, God make sure you got nothing to worry about. I said, God, maybe making sure you ain't got nothing to worry about. It's just so it's like at some point, like you be thinking, like, damn, this book I'm reading, I don't think this for me. I don't think this part of my ancestry system. Oh, yeah, I say you start thinking real good. Then you get put in a position you don't even want to live unless you could be in a position of making a Bible. You could make a religion. You could make a business, entertainment, education. You know what I say? Other than that, you just gonna be living your life, dropping your nuts. You know what I say? You ain't about to be substituting yourself to no goddamn other Adam's apple that's weak somewhere that God show you every day where. You know what I'm saying? They magical underwear. Masonic got. You know what I'm saying? Mormonism. Magical handshaking underwear type shit. They ain't even magical. They really Batman jaws. They just the 1992 Batman Michael Keaton one and shit. Better than that.
that? Real shit. I'm saying real shit. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of men. With, I got mommy issues. That's it. With a whole bunch of flunked ass females. I got daddy issues, so they can't fuck the females, and the females kill them real fast. So Queen Elizabeth's always some queen somehow living way longer than the man. This cat always died 22 or something, or 23. Why Prince Charming always died at 23? So he can't live about 3 years being from a frog after he got kissed and became a prince. He lived about 2 months, cat die. Now we got celebrating Valentine's Day and shit like that. Oh, men allowed to still be married and still go to war because they don't. I think Queen Elizabeth, I think that bitch got something to do with that. I'm saying real shit. I'm saying, yeah, that bitch got daddy issues and shit. Yeah, because she going on a whole generational curse type of shit. She was raised by her Queen Elizabeth III. Well, they creating senior energies and shit and junior energies and these females. How y'all create that shit as Queen Elizabeth? They have to. I see what they all doing. I said she came up under her grandmother. Somehow grandfather died before her. You know what I'm saying? So of course we see what kind of cycle they on. We see it. We see why Prince James always dead. We see why King James, we always got to see him just because he just made the Bible. He ain't never here to reap his benefits. There's always Queen Elizabeth still here to reap the benefits. Why King James ain't never still here? You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Gotta think about that. These guys always died before they ate some spaghetti. It's always after they ate some spaghetti or something like that. Now we got spiritual cooking and stuff online and shit. I'm starting this learned behavior type shit. I'm telling you. Thank God I'm in my daughter's like, guess who ain't gonna have? I got daddy's issues, my daughter. I'm saying real shit. I'm saying, cause yeah, we can't keep having Queen Elizabeth on Earth and shit like that. Real thing of shit. So we'll never hear Queen Elizabeth talk about her father or stuff like that. Yeah, my father used to do this and that. That's why I run the world, and that's why I outlast all my men. We'll never hear that. There's always some shh, be quiet. Tonight it's the whole world always ran just by Queen Elizabeth. We always remember that. We never remember the dude except if his name on a book or something like that. We're like, damn, bitch, when was you fucking this shit? How come every generation is just you? I'll say every generation before we get in high school, the dude dead already and shit. I'll say Prince James dead already and shit. I'll say King Charming dead. I'll say we start thinking right now. He died before the war. I ain't died before the war shit. He died before he put his shoes on his shit. I'm starting to question shit. God showed me the creation of feminism and where feminism came. I'll say real shit. They always throwing rocks and hiding their hands, and then everybody got learned behaviors. Now we the ones in jail. We the ones can't take care of our kids. We the ones up under SUVs and shit because females figured out the way to get paid by the shadow man and shit like that. Like the welfare man and shit like that. Oh, sad real shit. Section 8 man shit. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't even allowed in the crib at a certain time and shit like a certain day. You know what I'm saying? The shadow man want to send one of his mafia working agent and people who just got a job over there. You know what I'm saying? They come spec the gate. Oh, spec the gate and shit. I gotta go hide in the closet and shit. I gotta go hide in your kid's bunk bed room and shit like that. Oh, I'm saying shit like that and shit. I gotta go disappear for a few hours and shit. Oh, so I gotta take a shit and shit like that. I gotta go hide in the backyard and shit. I gotta take a shit. So I can't take a shit for a few hours and shit. The shadow man sent his little puppet soldiers over there that want jobs and shit to come spectate the house and shit. I'm saying real shit. I'm saying. So it's some real funky ass shit going on in the world right now. So I gotta come around. I gotta get the shadow man from fucking female's mind up. Who's this funky man that I can't see? You know what I'm saying? Who's this funky man always in the refrigerator and shit like, oh, I said this funky man and shit. Oh, I can't see. I can't never see this funky man and shit. You know what I'm saying? This cat, you claim he always in the passenger side. How? Oh, yeah, I'm going dash dooring today. I'm dash door. So you got to go alone. Oh, but it's a job, right? Oh, so that's how you on the passenger side. Oh, shadow man. You sucking a shadow dick. And don't be with no Hebrew Israelite or no goddamn nigga that practice Islam or some shit like that. Yeah, he's sucking one with you too. At that point, he gonna try to get you to suck one. So y'all be sucking like 3 imaginary dicks.
And then one of them days you gonna hope to suck his little one though. But he got all these practices and shit like that. Yeah, at some point he gonna be like, man, fuck this polygamy shit. We ain't fucking or nothing like that. He praying too much and shit. Like, oh, there shit on some other shit. He praying too much. We can't eat steak one day. I'm saying, God damn it, God put steak here for us to eat it one day or something like that. So you start thinking and shit like that. You start sucking some Hebrew Israelism dick. Dude that's imaginary that keep a lock on the refrigerator. Then y'all start sucking the government dick and shit like that, because for some reason he still got you on welfare and shit like that. He got Allah, Muhammad, Hebrew, Moses on his side, but for some reason he still needs your income tax check, and he still needs your welfare check and shit like. You know what I'm saying? So at some point you gotta think like, at some point this nigga he's sucking too many dicks and shit like that. At some point you like, damn, how many dicks you sucking and shit? You be questioning yourself like, damn, how many dicks I'm sucking, and I'll never get to his, because he praying all the goddamn time, and that eventually shit. Yo, welcome to the subconscious community. So, saying real shit, because a lot of times it get a little weird out in the world and stuff like that, when people get lost in men's indoctrinations and stuff. So we got to peep game. It's a deep game out here. It's a deep game. I don't know. Cut your camera on real fast, just so I can see you, and then you can cut it off. After that. Oh, okay. You cut it off. I was going.
Hey, Dolo. I got a quick question pertaining to astrology. So with the upcoming new moon on June the 6th being at 16 degrees Gemini, is there anything that a Gemini should be aware of if their birthday is June the 6th and their sun is 16 degrees Gemini?
Hell yeah, their responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? They life, washing their ass, make sure they got some soap, you know what I'm saying? Rag, 2 rags, you know what I'm saying? One for your ass and one for your body and your face and stuff. You don't want to make sure you got, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you got 2 rags. Make sure that the other you wake up on the right side of the bed and not on the Gomorrah side of the bed. Then sometimes you might want to wake up and make sure you ain't on Sodom side of that bed either. You know what I'm saying? Then you want to make sure you like, you know, when you like putting deodorant up under your arms, you make sure you put it up under the Joachim pillar underarm, and then the Boaz underneath arm pillar and stuff like that. Boom. Then you can look at the astrology of it. You can see, goddamn it, what's the one named Castor. You know, you can see, get into that astrology and why he flunked out. Then Polix, see why she flunked out. Polix might be the dude, Castor might be the chick. You got to figure that out. Then at the end of the day, just don't be confused in your Gemini thoughts, and then like get prepared for Kendrick Lamar album get ready to come out. Boom, here Gemini. Boom, that's shit. That's about it.
Okay, gotcha.
Shot out. Real shit. Shot out. That's about it. Oh, you smack monkey ass Gemini. Oh, better than that. Hey, where's Elliot Banks when you need her? Oh, better than that. Oh, better than that. Fuck that ass Geminis. Oh, say shit. I'm about to be tired of seeing Donald Trump and stories about Donald Trump and shit like that. Hey, y'all already had, some of y'all had y'all flight day already. I'm saying real shit. Some of y'all had y'all flight day. Y'all not about to make the whole season, the whole year about y'all. So all the events get ready to happen. So it don't matter where the sun at, and it's time for someone else to be happy about their flight day and say, happy birthday. We ain't supposed to give a fuck like 50 Cent. You know, we don't give a fuck because we still talking about some shit some Gemini did during Gemini season. No, we ain't got no time for that. Y'all asses just be wanting to talk. That's it. And I'll go no further than that. Wooski voice. Us and they ass be just wanting to talk. Trump ass just be wanting to talk. Everything ain't shit about to happen. Ain't shit you about to vote for Trump to be in office just to be happy because this somebody is ghetto and potty mouth and right in the pussy just like you is just about to be in office again. That's it. You probably don't even care about you voting for anything. I'm saying, you know, but America is that dumb, deaf, blind, and sheep right now. I'm saying, real, especially the way everybody reacting to the goddamn Terrence Howard. He about the dumbest person online I ever heard in my goddamn life. And like, you got people in the comments like, ooh, ooh, I'm having a mental orgasm. Ooh, you know what I'm saying? Like this some goddamn it, Star Trek Voyager type dumbass shit. This shit stupid as fuck. Retard. We in retard nation right now.
So we definitely in retard nation. I don't even use the term deathly. So I usually just use infinitely, but shit, we definitely, it's deaf. Everybody deaf in the eardrum. We in live deaf comedy jam. And homeboy can't even get paid off that shit. Russell Simmons went to a different country because he got that Pee Wee Herman energy. He got that P. Diddy, and the P is for Pee Wee Herman. You know what I'm saying? Real shit energy. He got that energy going on. Say he got that the Palladian Palestine and the P Diddy and the P is for the Pope pervert and them. Saying all that shit, Pee Wee Herman and them, P Diddy and shit. So he got that kind of energy and shit. So we're P Diddy designer on a plane energy. So we gotta be careful with these people that throw ticket me Elmo ass motherfuckers. Saying real shit, tickle me Elmo ass man. Real shit. What's that nigga Zodiac? Oh, that. Yeah, the shadows, the good shadows with the good Catholicism worship in the Uriel. They've been trying to warn us and shit like that. They've been showed us goddamn it Mike from Subway and Tickle Me Elmo what they was all about. So we was been supposed to know here come the psyop with P. Diddy and them. It been butt munchers and shit like that we always known about. I'm waiting for the college dude to come out right now for him always to have a scandal. Well, remember the college dude? Hey guys, I bet you sitting on the couch right now. Yeah, you can get up. Yeah, you probably got a dick in your booty hole somewhere behind closed doors. Bring your ass out here, demon. That's why your ass was getting up off the couch and they had shit to do with college. So your ass was a psyop. Get his ass, government. Get him. Get him and John Legend. Get them all. Gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all. You're Pokemon them niggas. Lock them up in jail. I'm saying real shit. Lock them up in jail. All they do is get little 17-year-olds and vet them and give them all kind of STDs as soon as they turn 18-year-olds because they can't stop rubbing their nuts across the right butt cheeks of their favorite rappers and shit like that. Oh, this is learned behaviors. P. Diddy got that from Michael Bolton and them. He got that from them. So this all learned behavior and stuff like that. Dude all cheesing and smiling, rubbing on goddamn Meat Mill's kneecaps and ankle caps and stuff like that, like he was putting on some new Meat Mill Dream Tracer lotion on his ankles and shit. I'm like, man, what is going on here with this shit? I was saying, what's the funky ass shit going on here? What's going on here? I was saying, we get a little too comfortable, we get a little too free. So you create little psyops around people from backgrounds that don't know nothing about that and stuff like that. So these cats' money been compromised ever since. Little Baby, Meek Mill, we didn't want that from them. They must not been watching me. I've been up here kicking game a long good time. So I've been up here kicking game a whole good time. Why ain't y'all flunked out ass, goddamn retarded noodle brains ain't listening? Every goddamn full moon or every time I say a transit alignment, something happened right after and shit like that, and people don't want to understand it. They don't want to like give the credit or like. I know y'all got people in y'all teams that be watching me and shit like that, putting y'all on the game. Y'all better start putting them on the more game. As soon as I said something about lock up everybody that was with P. Diddy, here come all the goddamn bodyguards, and even they involving Cassie now. They all about to catch charges. Everybody about to catch charges now. So the one chick starting to be quiet now that was opening her mouth because now she's starting to look at it like, oh man, this ain't no check involved now. It's the feds looking at other people with light bulbs on their head like we might have been involved. Now, homegirl, from Dead and DK, she about to go be quiet now. It's like it's a whole bunch of deep psyop shit going on right now. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Real shit, but there's a whole bunch of shit involved behind closed doors. They just making everybody come up. Everybody about the whole industry is getting tore down. Whole industry because everybody but munchers. But you about to have people that's important protecting themselves too. So these people that's important protecting themselves, they're gonna be creating psyops where they throw they rock, a distraction, and hide their hand. We too busy what we distracted about. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta keep that in mind too. So we'll be somewhere roasting Lil Baby and Meek Mill. These cats behind closed doors, waiting to rub their nuts behind your next favorite rapper butt cheek and shit like that. And you know what I'm saying? And for the most part, they just assassinating everybody's character. We're behind closed doors. These the smack monkeys that run the world. The people who run the world, this is what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like we forget that. Like we keep letting them throw stuff in front of us, and we keep forgetting. Oh,
the people who run the world allow it. It would be no such thing as P. Diddy even being able to pay somebody for them to already know he beat women for 10 years. Who else did he pay other than the feds? You think they don't know? So they try to surprise us and shit like that. Like this is something new. All they did was throw a rock and some shit like that. Now they got little Cassie scared because she might be catching. So her lawyer, that's the only reason her lawyer talking real good right now, because they got paid already. You're supposed to go ahead and be quiet somewhere. No, her lawyer talking real good right now because the feds is involved, because some of the feds booty holes been rubbed, been rubbed across against. So all we doing is witnessing people who run the world fighting with each other right now, cat fighting. That's what we witnessing right now. People who run the world cat fighting. It's people y'all don't really care about because they don't rap. So it's like popular Jews that, like the older Jews or Jews that's the same age that's not into it, they probably look at like weak. They like, oh, why you into hip hop that deep? Why you into having a chain that much, right? So when it's a lot of these individuals, these are the individuals that, you know what I'm saying, they rub P. Diddy butt cheek the right way one day. P. Diddy rubbed they butt cheek right the one day. So when you got so much business connection, so we not like at this point, we're not actually talking about physically, right? So it's like you scratch my ass, I scratch your ass. Like my influence allows me to make a certain amount of money. And if we in business dealings, right, our corporations, aka that we use to broadcast on our walking posting boards, celebrities, sports teams, titles on buildings and stuff like that, logos, Titantrons, right? These keep things to go in our favor as far as society, where, you know, the low-hanging fruit votes don't matter. We the moving and shakers, our vote matter because our money is the ones that's being put in the pockets of the gas corporations, and the gas corporations is the oil, and these convenience stores and stuff is ran by these 13 companies, is their family businesses. So for the most part, when we put money in their pockets, we get money by our influence. And here's where you get into the Jews and the whiteys and the blacks and the Mexicans and the Indians that's used from the backgrounds. They come from the background like you, but they're able to be an influence, whatever their talent is. Now, when we get to Jews, right, it's certain Jews that don't like the way other Jews move. So when you get in the music industry, this will be like Lear Cohen always having to call Guy. What's that dude name that worked for what's that record label that all the artists end up being killed and shit like that? 300 Records. The Guyvey dude, right? Now, from an outside looking in, you might not see what I see, but from the inside, trust me, if they was watching, they'll know what I'm talking about. Lear Cohen be giving homeboy advice based off he move a certain way that he don't like how he move, because he think Guyvey could be in a situation where things might not be meant for him, but you could be next to one of these rappers where a bad thing can happen and you're invested too much. You like chains too much. You like that type of sweater too much. You shouldn't care. It's like little petty stuff in their mind that they would chalk up to be like, I don't like that. Right? Now, people like that though, Guyvey and stuff, would do certain deals also that based off their Jewish influence and the influence that they're doing a deal with, like a P. Diddy or somebody. Now, I'm just using this as an example. I'm not saying Guyvey got deals with P. Diddy, but I'm just using this as an example. This allowed things like the gas or things that's being promoted and these parties for anytime they got a new product or something like that, the artist could be the walking billboard. The sports person could be the walking billboard. The actor or the actress could be the walking billboard. So these parties are set up to see how much you're willing to get taken advantage of, aka how far you're willing to allow something or your intellectual property or your creativity or your influence to be used. And based upon facial expression and certain practices and certain previous interactions that they had to keep things going in their industry, there's certain actions that you may not even know that you're doing, that they're sitting back justifying what would be positive or what they're qualifying as negative, and they're not even going to have no conversation with you. You know what I'm saying? And based upon how you act, this will allow them to justify how far they can go with you and how much they can justify what you will allow. And then they can use your influence, your intellectual property, give you a check to know that you're not going to complain, recommend you certain lawyers or things of that nature, to the point that your family become their system and the people that they recommended you. And there's a lot of negative scenarios that may not have nothing to do with your contract and your deal and what you accumulate in this prosperity. It may be situations that come from that seed, but play out in other ways based upon our indoctrination. And this indoctrination can lead into you, burning bridges with family, friends, and associates that don't have nothing to do with your accumulation, but in the spiritual world have everything to do with that. And it's also a witchcraft that they create, that just the situation you in and the amount of care that they put us in, and the Walt Disney indoctrination scenarios lead into us being led by greed and gluttony to allow a family member to hate another family member for certain situations, where the witchcraft itself in the industry is gain stalking. Not even if they have to point you out one-on-one, you will automatically yourself justify the people they recommended to you will be more of your family now, because you feel like you can trust your lawyer now because of what kind of conversations you've been having with them over the time. That now that it developed, you can't trust certain family members. Here's how money become evil now. But you're fully sold now. The spirit of you is fully sold into whatever they want you to pay attention to, with whatever spiritual creative gift you got, the ability to emanate thoughts and feelings and create a character out of it that's purely just directed to what they want you to pay attention to. One of their magic squares: business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics, and you be the face, aka your energy that you sold, your ability that your spirit have, and your mind is the face in the esoteric world on every Titantron to bring everybody to pay attention to whatever product, as above so below, they're getting the whole bread loaf, making money off of. And once you start to feel like you're being unvalued spiritually and physically, when you try to find your way out of it, here come a motherfucking RICO charge. Here come a character assassination spell, where everything you use or they allowed you to use with the operational variable, the things they allow you to accumulate to make you feel like you was independent, they create a problem from that previous solution to remind you have to be dependent on them. And then that character assassination spell is to destroy your influence in the spiritual world, your charismatic gift, your character. So as below, you can't materialize and manifest, produce off of it. So all your influence, you're not allowed to produce the money that put you in that position in the first place. And they use all the things that they made you believe you had to do to even make that amount of money. So now your influence that allow you to make the money, but the program and the industry that they allowed you to be in to make that money with your influence, now the things they made you think that was safe to do, they use that against you now. Now here's where they throw rocks, assassinate your character. You can't be an influence to you making money to the people you was influencing, but then they hide their hand. For you to feel comfortable to make that amount of money in the first place, they made you feel like you had to do what they do. Rub your nuts across somebody's butt cheek, or allow your left butt cheek to get somebody's nuts rubbed behind it if they're a Jew or a Mason. So for the most part, now is being what was once getting you millions of dollars is now getting you having to use it to stay out of trouble or to just survive, because you're not in a position to accumulate anymore because your character is assassinated, and the people you was making money off of now see you as evil. Now when you want to cry about who did that because you see how they did that, you're going to have people looking at you like, oh, it ain't got nothing to do with YouTube bots. It ain't got nothing to do with AI. Oh, it ain't got nothing to do with, it ain't got nothing to do with us turning. And now you in the world all alone. And a Jew and a Mason could be somewhere laughing at you, and your people could be somewhere laughing at you, and you can't go to each boat ride. Now you're drowning. Hopefully you don't kill yourself like some of these artists who didn't drown in a hotel bathtub. Rest in peace, Whitney Houston. Rest in peace, Lil Pump. Lil Peep. Sorry, Lil Pump. Lil Peep. You know what I'm saying? God damn it. Rest in peace, Gangsta Boo. I'm saying, rest in peace, Aaron Carter. Damn, don't let this go beyond my motherfucking hands. Do what NBA young boys say? Damn, I got so many bodies, I can't count on my hands no more. I got to start counting with my toes. Please don't let us do that with motherfuckers who taking this fake ass drugs and fentanyl shit because they can't take the celebrity and Jewish witchcraft and spirituality that they got very separate from God from. Lord Jesus Christ. This don't make no motherfucking sense. But yeah, y'all got a peep game. This is what's going on right now. And this is their system. So it ain't like they're going to stop. In their mind, this is what they do to put it together. You know what I'm saying? This in their mind, this is what they do. This is what they like to do to put it together and mix it like a craft. So once it become a crafting system, you know what I'm saying, it allows people to be lost up under some type of spell. And then before you even know how to understand anything, you got to spell it out, spelling letters and words and shit like that. And it always leads you into not fully being able to comprehend what was pointed to with the word before it was made, before the word was made. It's always pointing to energies. Every word in the encyclopedia is explaining a spiritual experience, not an actual form itself. These forms is going to come and fade. We see deterioration. We see people come and go. We see trees deteriorate and grow back. So any word that's pointing to these things is purely pointing to the essence of it, the energy, the character of it. So just because we can see something grow in reality doesn't necessarily mean growth as an essence is pointing to that. So everything has a concept of growth. Everything has an ability to be first. First is not something on its own. See what I'm saying? But when you get lost into that, that's how they got y'all living backwards. So you'll think something was first on its own. You'll think something only could grow, and that's the only thing could grow. There's things in the world that don't. No, it's all things could grow. A tree can grow, a human can grow, things expand, things deteriorate. That's like another concept of growth, transformation. If you want to be a little smarty ass and be an atheist and be like, rocks don't grow, we see it deteriorate, bitch. That's a form of expiration or transportation, bitch. It's the same fucking shit, just in different forms, different transitions. So people don't be understanding about the mechanisms of life. So growth is a concept on its own. So when you take that as a mechanism, you can use that to many things in life. And this is what makes you more spiritual, because where people are stuck at, you can see where they can use the assistance of the essence of growth in areas that they're stuck at, that they don't even look at it with that word stuck or growth. So you'll be like, okay, growth is a mechanism. And then you can start to use practices in the world that you see actual things growing and keep it around you. And you will start to see other things that you want to grow from a spiritual perspective grow in your life. If you want to direct that energy towards an inanimate object like a business or a career or a relationship, you will start to see it grow in this motherfucker shit. And then you'll be like, damn, I'm actually experiencing growth in my life. So these are essence and energies. And if we could praise it and uphold it, even if the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension showing us negativity and things that's not in our favor, this will allow us to be in a different space than any other spirit that don't know how to be in a separate space than situations that's around them. And it get hard every now and then. So this is what makes it an uphill battle. The more tougher that you are, the stronger you are the spirit, the more that even if you are heavily in a situation and you got to be negative, that small piece of grace will make it all worth it because the outcome will be greater. You ever experienced a person went through a whole lot of shit early in their life, but they outcome, they in a way better situation than you? You see rappers every day that just got out of jail from 10 years, blow up way faster than a rapper who was rapping their ass off. They was out 24/7. What the fuck they was doing? You know what I'm saying? And they still just on SoundCloud. So when you understand it's about praising a thought, without the word praise, you understand the actual concept before they even created that. And now you even understand the Jewish way, how they always try to make money off of things. It's the same mechanism that they use when they created the book of Psalms. So prayers and shit is just about when you take all the bias away from it that suit your insecurities, what you're just doing is worshiping or trying to uphold a positive thought or a thought that you think is positive for you. So once you understand that, you can do that with anything. And when you do that with the astronomy and astrology, you know how to do that right periods of time. The mental farming, this the right time to have this type of thought, and actual farming. Physically going for a goal, or actually it's time to farm in a real reality. It's that time of the year. So when you're able to uphold a more healthier thought, spiritually, that means you're in a different space. So that thought, you got it from a different spiritual space. So you got a different spaceship from a different space. Now, in the third dimension, you could be around a whole bunch of other people, family, friends, and associates. Spiritually, they're in a different space. So they're going to be observers of different thoughts, and a lot of them being negative thoughts and feelings. If you in the same physical situation as them, but you could uphold that different spiritual space, you in a different spiritual city in Babylon. So you seeing different buildings. On the left, thoughts. On the right, feelings to make your spaceship, 6th dimension character. So you got a different mentality. So now you got a stronger spirit and a healthier mentality in the same situation of other spirits that's not quite so. Eventually, you're going to start to be aware of different thoughts and feelings that play out as different actions, different things you pay attention to, different things you're willing to learn, different things you're willing to express and act upon and do. And then for the most part, in 1, 2, and 3rd dimension, the same situation you amongst with others, your ideas manifest into the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension and actually play out and as a different scenario and take you right out of that dumbass situation. And what mattered to you in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, the spirit world, became physical matter in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension. Something that looked, be a person, place, or thing, circumstance, or situation, very different than you needing to ask for a cup of sugar and a stick of butter like you was just doing 5, 10 years ago before you got out of high school and you was living that funked out ass life with your parents and shit. You see what I'm saying? So for the most part, it's about that. It's about praising a thought or praising a mental space and not allowing a 1, 2, and 3rd dimension fart cloud biases that everybody else lost in to persuade you or to indoctrinate you or get you led into a bias. So that esoteric fart cloud peer pressure make you feel like you have to act accordingly, and you'll be wasting time acting accordingly to some shit that ain't accordant. You know what I'm saying? You'll be trying to think what's common sense based upon a whole bunch of shit that ain't in common. Then you'll have to listen or watch the news or look at statistics every now and then to realize, bitch, you in a small world. That's only for you and a small handful of people you around. Bitch, it's a broad, bigger world out there. Bitch, you need to open up your mind. Bitch, you need to just open up your mind and travel a little bit and meet Uriel in New York or something like that. Something like that. I'm saying we talk about other than that, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? We talk about allegorically speaking. If you're a man, you need to open up your mind. It was only your neighborhood the reason why you thought that, oh, I only thought Crips exist. It was only your neighborhood you thought, oh, I only thought Treetop Pyru's Bloods exist. Or Fruit Town Bloods exist. You know what I'm saying? It's just because you the only one who would never thought online or never went nowhere on the block outside of your block. You know what I'm saying? So you get small mind. It's just, but that's what it's talking about. So y'all got to peep game. You got to open up your mind, even if you is in a limited circumstance and you got limited access to shit. Don't be scared to think different. Don't be scared to do different. Don't be scared to motherfucking feel different. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll be surprised. Anytime we express our true self, that's how you actually get liked and actually have more control. Because you actually do what all spirits be actually really wanting to do. And you'll start to see, oh, all spirits really made up who they are based off validation and invalidations. And that's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times you can get too lost into positive and negative energies, going too hard for what you was validated on and thinking everything is wrong in life and everything is happening to you is extremely negative and you being punished every time something goes against what you was validated on previously. You know what I'm saying? Don't let you be spoiled with that validation. You might kill yourself or do something to end up in jail for no reason or roll somebody up under your SUV. So you'll be able to sit back and be like, oh shit, damn, from the people who even the most popular or something like that in my school or neighborhood, they're only like that because they was willing to play that fake game. You're going to look at it like a fake game. You're going to be like, they was willing to play that fake game that they thought was life. So they thought it was normal. They got good at a fake game. And that game ain't really with who they are. It ain't going to be till they old until they realize they unfulfilled. Right. And if you don't realize you have to challenge that, you'll be going through your life in fear of going against things like that and thinking you have to participate or thinking that you're just not part of the world and don't participate. And you'll fuck around, go to school and don't play sports or things or not participate with any of the things that got things going on in school because you probably down on yourself. But what's going on is when you start to express your true self, even if you're not doing none of these things, you'll start to realize that you play out some quality that all spirits actually want to do, or they get reminded that's what they're supposed to do because they'll feel better. And then start to look at what they was doing as forms of pressure or forms of peer pressure, forms that they don't want to uphold as much. And your energy, look, they see it as a form of relief. So they get inspired and want to be around you and stuff. This is how sometimes the weird kid in high school get attention from the high school jock or the most popular person sometimes, because they be trying to understand this person. But really secretly, it's like they get realized that they upholding a pressure that they wish they can be around and not uphold that all the time and be as great if it's a validation on a good side, or be as negative if it's a validation on a bad side. So it's their only form of getting attention. Like their mother or parents never pay attention to them unless they're getting in trouble. So sometimes they get in trouble in extreme ways, in ways that they don't know why, but deep down it's a trauma because that's their only way of ever remember of getting attention. You know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. So a motherfucker will go ahead and get life in jail if that's the only way that they know that their mother come see them every day and shit like that. But other than that, it get deep when it comes into the psychologies of the traumas that be in humans' brains. So we got to become the new psychologists for each other, because, you know, these Jews and Masons not doing a good job, or would be no such thing as a 2,000-year-old argument about us needing to get an A in history class, learning about somebody doing some shit we ain't have to do. Get rid of turkeys and you have thousands of wars. That's dumb. Now, for the most part, when we start to talk about energies and cycles that we in, it's a lot of stuff that we're having learned behaviors, and there ain't no schools or things to get us out of these circumstances, and we could be lost. And then for the most part, they can be throwing a book at us and having all these circumstances of us thinking that we actually did something to ourselves, and it really don't be having nothing to do with nothing else but all of us going up under some learned motherfucker behavior and peer pressures and shit. But anytime you your true self, you would get the attraction of other individuals, and then that's the best kind of relationships you want. Networking, sibling, because you actually could be yourself, so you don't always have to uphold this peer pressure, even if it's a validation that was working good in your favor. Even when you make a mistake, someone will give you grace. It won't be something like it's World War III, or even if a person would give you grace, you won't have to put all this weird pressure and be hard on yourself because of what you're trying to uphold, and you ain't around no healthy spirits to make you feel like you don't always have to be like that, in a world that make it seem like it's normal to always be like that 24/7. And the moment you think differently, when you by yourself, you start to feel like something wrong with you. So, and a lot of people don't be having healthy spirits in their, and that's family, friends, or associates in their life, to be able to have that type of mental comfort that they can let that down, that guard down. So these be people who really strong in that robotic energy. So some people you can't change because it's developed in their brain. And some of these people that you care about, they're like narcs at this point, and ain't nothing you can do to get them out of that energy, because they're too far gone into whatever the Jewish people made as goddammit traditional, or what the government made as goddammit regular, but or important. When they make things important, half of the world, especially when it comes to the men, they don't understand what we're supposed to be presenting in the world, so they only know how to cater to a lot of the traumas we already have. And then when females need fulfilling, sometimes a man, they pick a man that only fulfill a trauma. And then now we got what we call trauma bonding relationships, or toxic relationships, where since the beginning of time, the government started ruling, there was no such thing as healthy relationships. It's like we always have to figure out ways to do that ourselves. And when we get good at the game, they change the rules and shit like that. But since the beginning of time, we got certain traditions and shit like that got just certain routines and patterns where it's still like a form of narcissism in it. And we all playing out that trauma right now. We call it GMO, generational cursed out. We are genetically modified operations, from the food we eat, the mind, and how we were born, and shit like that, under these conditionings, from the baby booming to the time to these thought forms and commercials and movies and songs that our parents was in, as far as this, what we're calling a vibration. And these the vibrations they was in, and the spirits we must have been in that space. So goddamn it, that's how we even got here, out of a whole bunch of negative vibrations and shit like that, and toxicity. So the government is trying to control a bunch of shit with small dick energy amongst a whole bunch of people without those insecurities. So shit is running rampant. And anytime we express without having those insecurities, they change something up. And that leads us back to the concept of anytime we get good at the game, they change the rules. Because we end up having more kids than them, building more of the world than them, coming up with more slang with language that they keep trying to control and make first than them and shit like that, making YouTube lit than them, making sports and stuff lit than them, movies and stuff like that more lit than them. The only thing they could do is, hey, can y'all please keep doing what we telling y'all to do though? If you're going to make a movie, please make it like Alien. Please make it based off one of our insecurities in the Bible, our traumas, our ways, please. And then anytime we don't do it as far as shit, they got to melt another metal. Here come depopulation control existence, fake wars, shooting shit in y'all blood, so you can't be strong mentally or physically. You know, like the shit like that. It would be no other reason or that shit wouldn't exist. So y'all got a peep game, man. All they do is do everybody dirty, right? And then once everybody be done dirty, you can't even remember when you was even smart, as if you was even smart at all. You know what I'm saying? And at some point, we just got to remind them, well, whatever we doing now is what we always been doing. So you need to take your power back now, no matter how much on the opposite end you are. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much on the opposite end you are. So when it comes into Memorial Day, all they doing is worshiping the last full moon of the spring season, right? Because we getting ready to have a next new moon in Gemini. Then the next full moon is going to be in, goddammit, what, Cancer? So summertime. So last full moon of spring, right? That's the Memorial Day worship. And the space or that atmosphere behind the moon at that time is what they're calling Ceres, or the Ceres constellation, or the dog star, or whatever like that. So this is why all the constellations after Gemini or the two after are representing animals. But even the fixed star constellations that they're making, you got the Canis Minor, Canis Major, the dog star, that's the fixed star in Canis Major. You got the Cancer, the crab, you got the lion. When the solar plexus as above, it's in home, as below, we got a micro version. Your solar plexus, your sun sign, right, is hot, bend in, that mind bend in on itself and created your gut and your immune system and shit like that, right? But it's also an allegory of our animal, right? Our desire, that boat that Noah's Ark bringing two of every animal, two gender, your thought, man, gender, and feeling, emotion, gender of all your desires, all your animals. That's what it means. On your solar plexus, on your boat, your internal water, Jesus Christ water. And for the most part, that's basically what it's talking about and shit like that. At the same time, but when we're talking about the moon is supposed to be Ceres, and then the sun in Gemini right now, they're supposed to be Osiris or Orion. And then that marriage, full moon, supposed to be them fucking, and then that alignment bring this animal nature or whatever the case may be that we're getting ready to experience summer as a transition. And then that's what we experience, the memorial, the death of spring, or the memorial or something, or whatever the case may be. See what I'm saying? Or the flooding year. And that's all. They got phases for every month, every week, every year. And a person would be like, where's the source? Why do you need a source to understand how they're even making the sources? You tell me another reason why they doing the Passover. It ain't no God telling them to do it. It's a group of men looking at that and then just figured out a way to get paid off of it. You could do it too. You don't have to practice a holiday. You don't have to say the stars influence you to do nothing. But if you understand the starting point, there is a synchronicity of every period of time and nature. So if you're part of nature and you can feel the wind and stuff, you're part of that same cycle. So obviously it's a part of how you came to be. So, okay, it could become a system to praise. It could become a system but if you're lost up under somebody else's system, that how they're getting paid off of it, this how they get crumbs and you get lost up under a system that it didn't even have to be no bread, no yeast that we can't find in nature off of anyway. Where's the bread tree? Where's the goddamn bread? Goddamn it, Bush. All they doing is taking yeast. And what is yeast? Fungus. And what is fungi? Dead bacteria. So dead shit in nature after it die and it's a little bit living in a season before it fully transition. So it ain't fully dead, but it's getting ready to die and taking it at that alchemy point is like poison, mixing it with something else. And now we take that fungus mix it with something that is alive, right? Some fluid, some water. And now we got yeast, or now we got motherfucker flavored gas, pop, or now we got motherfucking bread, something that could fluff something up. Like if you sell dope, you could go to the Dragon or something like that, aka it's a store or something where it's almost like what we use for fentanyl. You could blow the dope up or something like that to make it a little heavier and shit. Don't put in too much, you'll kill somebody, or blow it up or whatever the case may be, and rock the neighborhood to sleep and overprice everybody and shit like that and things of that. So for the most part, last time I checked, taking anything like that in your blood, it will slow it down. It'll puff your blood up. So when your blood have a deficiency, there is no other such thing as where cancer come from, diabetes come from. So if you're looking at that practice, this is their first early stages of Jim Jones practice. But also, if you see how crafty they are and everything that they do, that everything has a yin and yang, conveniences and what is good for you, you know that it's that same kind of malpractice behind it on the negative end. So go beyond the bread, and you know that there's certain vitamins that they may practice to put in your, that if you take, it fuck up your blood. Certain shots that's unnecessary before we go to certain grades in school, or certain if you got a cold, or if you go to the hospital because you got cancer or something like that. Not only do you get the what they call that, the what's the diabetic juice, not saline, right? They give you some false saline too, though, right? Ain't no telling what they putting in that. But anytime you need to replenish with the damn, what do diabetes people got to replenish with? Because I got pancreatitis, so every time I got to go to the hospital for it, they give me that too, and my little kidney. Somebody said malfunction. I'm not looking for a term. I'm looking for the liquid that they give you. It's called damn, what the fuck do they call the shit? Insulin. There you go. Shout out to Johnny. Insulin. Yeah. Insulin. Right? Now, they'll put you on some other fluid too, to try to say, oh, it's forever the insulin side effect. The same way how they put y'all and y'all grandmother on other stuff, and then try to say, here, get on this other thing for a side effect, that there'd be another vitamin or another pill for a side effect of a side effect or a side effect. That's just them testing you, stuffing shit in your blood. Well, all kind of other practices that they got more crafty with from its original stages. Bread. So they do, the psyop goes so deep, they always got you in a magic square. Even when you think you rebellious doing something on your own, they still got you thinking you're doing something for them. So you'll have a rebellious person who's still fat. That's a Hebrew Israelism talking about stop eating pork. But they eat bean pies all the time. So they eat more bread with their meals than regular food anymore. And then they claim they're vegan or vegetarian. Yet they having the hardest time losing weight. They probably question themselves, why am I having the hardest time losing weight? But I'm out here preaching to everybody good, healthy diet plans and shit like that I can see that's on nature. It's in nature and shit like that, that I'm not eating none of that shit that's processed. But the shadow government witchcraft is so deep, they got you separating from everything in nature and got you on everything but nature. The only thing that's not in nature. They got you eating the only thing that don't grow in nature. There is no bread tree. There is no bread bush, but they got you separating from everything that's GMO and in nature to get on something totally GMO without you thinking it. So you like, yeah, I'm about to eat safe. I ain't about to eat shit. I'm about to just go ahead and eat bean pies. Half of the beans is GMO, like celery sticks, tomato. The shit that you don't know is a fruit or a fruit or a vegetable. The reason you don't know it is because it's GMO. Now, there's a gift and a curse to everything. The gift is, they don't want everybody to be like the shadow priest. They can't have everybody drinking human blood, and they need animals as subsidiary, and we can't get rid of all the animals and all the real fruit. So eventually we got to create ways to survive on our own if we care about things that's actually still living. But these things we create, we got to learn how it got to be a synthetic version of what we made out of. Pus, blood, milk, and water, and nutrients and vitamins and minerals. So even though it's synthetic, it's still, it can play out as a curse, just like us being caveman and we can't fuck each other anymore, caveman and cavewoman, because it built too much retardation. The gift is something beautiful could come out of it, though. We can preserve life. We don't have to get rid of and be so demonic falling in these bodies as we used to. and things of that nature. So we can let more trees and animal life live if we could find a way to make tilapia work. You know what I'm saying? And we could let cows live, and we could find a way to make vegan burgers work. But you do know those are the highest versions of GMO. What else is a vegan burger if it ain't GMO? If it ain't processed? You could say it's real because it's made out of real vegetables and shit, which that's GMO seeds that they be planting around the world. Don't know celery stick. None of that shit is GMO. But at the same time, is always gonna lead you to eat more bread than anything, right? That's all they really want you to do anyway. And if you don't understand what yeast and bread do, just period, go get some barbecue sauce. Go get some hot sauce. Go get a cup of water. Go get God. Look, God just gave one of his children, me. I said it's. God gave one of his children, me, a scientific practice to do. Go get a cup of water or some hot sauce, any type of fluid, right? And go get a piece of bread and put a little bit of that fluid on that bread. Put a piece of that water on that bread, a piece of that hot sauce, piece of that barbecue sauce, piece of that salsa dip, right? And then look. Just look. And you might be like, Dolo, Uriel, what is God trying to tell us? What did God tell you to tell us? And I ain't going to say nothing. I'm going to be like, think about it. Just think about it. Look what it do. And if you too demonic, you might be like, man, this good. It'll look good because this barbecue sauce on some bread. I got some fish on the side and all shit. You know what I'm saying? You might be thinking it's good. And God going to be like, look, you a demon again. Don't say nothing to them. But just look a little harder. And when you look, what you're going to see is how well the bread soak in the goddamn it sauce. Right? Now, take that with your health, since you're so much of a health guru. Eat some bread, and when you eat it, you just put it in bite size. It's still that same mineral. There's still that same material. It's the same thing. You just broke it down for it to go down your tubes where your blood at, right? So when you eat that and it go into your blood, what the fuck you think your blood do? Now you know where blood clots come from. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about slowing down on the bread. You know what I'm saying? And it's about slowing down on a lot of the other stuff that utilize the same form of yeast. So a lot of alcohol got yeast in it. So you practice these things like monetary. Practice these things monetary. Don't do these things like an everyday thing, like a Hebrew Israelite. This is why they have to get rid of the goddamn Bible stand and go get another diet plan. You know what I'm saying? Bars. Because you gotta let the pilot land. I ain't gonna never land though. But yeah, y'all gotta understand. Peep game. There's things in the world that people don't be understanding, and all you got to do is sit back and look at the actual life. You could track the sun and the moon yourself, and you could see why they get given so much importance to some of these holy days or what they created to make money off of it. So Halloween, is just as above, that sun being in that position, as below, we experiencing the death of plants and trees, right? The middle of fall. So you can't say your eyes don't see that. Don't see that. And you can't say that's pseudo. And you can't be asking somebody, where's your source? That's the source, life. So whoever made a source, that's what they're talking about for them to create the holiday Halloween. So Halloween, what are you wearing? You're wearing dead characters. So if they anthropomorphize things, what is that concept? Adding characters to movements in the sky, or entities on the ground, or things on the ground relating to the sky, or trying to relate the sky to things on the ground. So if that period of time we see death, we could wear costumes that represent death and people that died, and we are the micro version of stars. So when you go spend money on a Halloween costume, guess who get the bread loaf? And guess who get the crumbs that still need a job so they can make sure they have money for the next holiday they think they're going to do for their kids. So that's it. That's all. I'm creating a goddamn holiday Saturday through Monday this week. know what I'm saying? This week. It's in this motherfucker shit. And it's whatever I'm calling it, bitch. Other than that, y'all have fun with whatever they trying to get y'all rocked to sleep. I know a lot of y'all have fun today and stuff. Save the turkeys, save the birds, save the goddamn eagles and all the shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. And y'all protect yourselves. Cause like the whole world going to hell. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all been doing this for too long. 2,000 years worth. Y'all know that, right? Welcome to the age of Aquarius, bitch, though. Now you know. If you don't know, now you know. I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. You know what I'm that?